You could pay 10 supermodels to be around you constantly, and you can get attraction from women because of pre-selection. But that doesn't mean you have actual inner value, who you are on the inside. Money and status and women, all these are like transitory, illusory forms of value. It's not who you are on the inside. Who you are on the inside is the things you do on a daily basis. And if you do hard things, it makes you a strong, valuable man. Like this video if you can relate. Leave a comment if you have something to add to this discussion. When I was 25, I was married, rich, and surrounded by women. My wife and I had a webcam business, threesomes, parties, luxury vacations, the kind of life most men dream about. And yeah, women wanted me back then, but they didn't want me because of who I was. It was purely based off pre-selection. Pre-selection is like a cheat code to attraction. Women desire what other women already desire. But if you took away the pre-selection, the status, the money, what was my actual value as a man? I had all the external illusions of value, but I didn't have the true deep inner value, which I've now built and I continue to build, because this life is far more satisfying. And this life of personal development and building my value over time in solitude, this is real power. This is not something that can be taken away. My wife and the status and the money, all that was taken away in my divorce. And what was I left with? I was left with myself. And I didn't like who I was because I wasted over a decade of my life pursuing comfort and pleasure, which is what most of you guys are doing. I built a rich inner world, an inner citadel made of diamond, like Heraclitus. This is what Nietzsche said about Heraclitus. And this requires solitude. This requires renouncing the herd, the world. You should still interact with people on a daily basis, but don't spend long periods of time hanging out with people. Spend most of your time reading, writing, thinking, exercising, developing yourself in solitude by yourself. The way I get my social stimulation these days is when I'm running errands. I walk my dogs and I usually come across another person walking their dogs and I can chit chat for a little bit. Or I go to the store every day to get groceries. I live in Europe, so this is what we do. We don't drive to the store, load up the car, and then have a huge fridge with like a week's full of groceries. We get our daily groceries and we don't drive, we walk or ice skate to the market. Throughout the course of my day, I'm out in the world doing things. I'm encountering people the whole time. This is enough to satisfy your social needs. The rest of the time should be you by yourself, working on yourself, doing something that makes you better. And when you live a life like this, the days of living like this compound over the years and you become better and better and better. Your power increases. You become more masculine. And that is polarizing. It makes women soft and feminine because you are hard and masculine from living a hard masculine life. And if you want to understand why women are drawn to the kind of man who doesn't chase them, who doesn't need them, and then still gets them anyway, you can read my ebook, The Brutal Truth of Female Nature, top link in the description. I actually might have it as the second link. The top link will be my Übermensch path one-on-one coaching, which is for the men who are ready to actually go on this path that I'm on of becoming the Übermensch, a God among men, dedicating your life to ascending above humanity. And this will get you any woman you want, because as I've mentioned many times, and as I talk about in the ebook, women crave superior men. What is more superior than being a god? So to achieve godhood, you need to be on the path. You need to be well established on your path of ascendance, on your path of personal development, so that once we achieve artificial superintelligence in a brain-machine interface, you can use that to supercharge your personal development, and that will enable you to become a god among men. While most people are using super intelligence to numb themselves in comfort and pleasure in like virtual worlds, you can use it to ascend above humanity in the real world. When you have it all, when you have money and women and status and luxury and comfort and pleasure all day, every day, there's nothing forcing you to become better. And that's why you stagnate and become worse over time. And women feel the difference. You might think like, oh, I'll just jack off a little bit. I'll just eat this garbage food, McDonald's or cake or whatever. It's not going to affect anything. How is a woman going to know? How is the woman I'm talking to going to know if I just ate a cake and jacked off? Well, they're not going to know that specific day that you did that. But if you're living that way, if you're constantly engaging in this feminine lifestyle of comfort and pleasure and ease, it's going to show in your energy. And the opposite is true. If you're engaged in a masculine lifestyle of self-inflicting hardship and challenge and overcoming those challenges and progressively overloading the difficulty of the things you do daily, they're going to feel that. You're going to radiate that calm power and that masculine, hard energy. If you've ever met a man who's on this path, who's actually developing himself and becoming powerful, really like personal power, inner power, meditating, reading, exercising, fasted hikes through nature, all the things I am constantly preaching to you guys. When you actually do that, you become more masculine and powerful and calm. But it's not like you're just like an angry person. People who are angry or rude or negative, this is the word I'm looking for, negativity. Those people have poor mental health, and they have poor mental health because they're eating garbage food, indulgent food, like sweets and junk food. So their bodies are inflamed, they have poor health, and they have poor mental health because they're addicted to scrolling on their phone and consuming media. When you're a powerful man, you are a happy man. A powerful man is a happy man. Like Nietzsche said in The Antichrist, what is happiness? The feeling of a resistance being overcome, of power increasing. So if your power is increasing, if you're overcoming the resistance, because there is resistance in you, you naturally want to do what is comfortable and easy. That's the resistance. You overcome that and you do what's hard. You do fasted hill sprints. You do a full body workout and then sauna. You do all these hard things. You sit in perfect stillness and silence, focusing on your breath for 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's hard to do. And you overcome the urge to not do that or to stop doing that. And that's your power increasing, and this makes you a happy person. When you are happy, you are positive. When you have good mental health, you are positive. You're not angry. So I want you to get this idea of a masculine, powerful man being like burrowed eyebrows, like stern and like disciplined. When you're disciplined, this over time, this makes you a happier, more positive human with good mental health. So you're jovial, you're joyous, you can laugh and smile easily and effortlessly. You just behave in a natural, organic way. And all of this across the board is attractive to women. This is building true inner value. You could pay 10 supermodels to be around you constantly, and you can get attraction from women because of pre-selection. But that doesn't mean you have actual inner value, who you are on the inside. Money and status and women, all these are like transitory, illusory forms of value. It's not who you are on the inside. Who you are on the inside is the things you do on a daily basis. And if you do hard things, it makes you a strong, valuable man. So that was my issue before. It was pretty much pre-selection versus actual power, personal power. To put it differently, I would say pre-selection versus presence. Now I have presence. Who I am is attractive. It doesn't matter if I have beautiful women around me or if I'm surrounded by luxury and status symbols. Because who I am, my presence is powerful. Women can feel your presence. And this presence, it comes from doing the hard daily habits that most men avoid. Most men avoid doing hard things. So if you can be the rare man who is actively pursuing doing hard things. Meditation is a perfect example. Mindfulness meditation, it teaches you focus and it teaches you presence, like actually being present in the moment. Instead of thinking about a bunch of random shit, you are here in this moment right now. Exercise is another thing. When I'm skateboarding through the streets or when I'm fighting in the boxing gym or wrestling, I have to be present. If you're not present, you're going to get beat up or you're going to get hit by a car if you're skateboarding through the streets and you're not present. So all these things that I do every single day, it all requires maximum presence. It's all training my presence. And then when you're not doing these activities, when you're just calm and you're talking to a woman, you will just radiate that calm power. Also, if you're living like an athlete, like I encourage you guys to do, I encourage you guys to live like an elite athlete, like a warrior. So this naturally precludes that you will be calm and comfortable because you will have a low resting heart rate. Like physiologically, if you're doing intense training daily, this lowers your heart rate. When you're raising your heart rate by doing hill sprints or a workout in the gym or combat sports, when you're not doing those things, when you're just still, you have a lower heart rate than normal. Your heart is efficiently pumping blood. And you also get better sleep. It's like a virtuous cycle. The lower your heart rate when you sleep, the deeper your sleep will be. And deep sleep means deep recovery. It means optimal hormones. So your testosterone is higher. And we know higher testosterone makes life way better and it makes us way more attractive to women. The more masculine we are, the more feminine they are. And before, I didn't have all these things. I didn't do any of this stuff. I didn't push myself physically. I didn't train my mind. I didn't train my body. Not really. I would go to the gym like a couple times a week, barely do any cardio, barely do skateboarding once in a while. I wasn't intentionally pushing myself because I didn't have to. There was no need. I had everything. I had luxury and luxury made me weak. And it made me weak because comfort breeds softness. And on the opposite end, struggle breeds polarity. You're struggling with challenges and hardship and you're overcoming and getting better. This makes you more masculine and this makes you polarizing. Cold showers, fasting, combat sports. Women can feel the energy of a man who conquers himself, who battles with himself and his vices and his weaknesses and conquers them. This is like a different species of man compared to the guy who's just constantly chasing comfort and pleasure and ease and avoiding the hard work, the hard inner self work. It's not the work you do at your job or building your business. This is the kind of work that doesn't have an immediate reward or result. It's the kind of work that the results compound gradually over years and years and years of living this hard masculine life. Most guys go wrong because they're part of the herd. They have the herd instinct. They want other people to like them. They crave spending time with others. They can't stand being alone. They feel lonely and bad when they're alone. So they can't even experience solitude. Solitude amplifies your power. All the things that make you better are done in solitude. It forces self-reflection. It builds your calm powerful energy, and it just makes you magnetic if you're using your solitude correctly. So the ultimate lesson here is that you can't fake real strength. Women will see right through it. You can have all the external flashy status and pre-selection and all this stuff, but when it comes down to it, the core of who you are as a man is the only real thing, the only important thing. And if you focus on these external metrics of status and women and money, and you neglect your inner world, developing yourself internally, you're going to lose all that external bullshit that is an illusion and never meant anything in the first place. And then what are you left with? You're left with a man who didn't build real inner value. So the point of my whole channel is to teach you guys the real inner value is built in solitude. It's not built from chasing women and money and chasing external things. Like this video if you can relate. Leave a comment if you have something to add to this discussion, and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy these topics and if you want to follow my journey of becoming an Übermensch. And if you want to be on the Übermensch path, top link in description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.